Now, it's day 3 of the Madlanga Commission today, and KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is expected to continue with testimony on suspended Minister Senzo Mchunu's alleged associate, Brown Mogotsi. Let's cross to SABC News anchor Ayanda Nyathi. He's in Pretoria at the hearings, and let's get a bit of a preview of what we can expect coming out today. Ayanda.
Yeah, Leanne, you know, there's a saying that heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I think you'd have to look far and wide to find individuals who can feel that pressure than the commissioners who will be seated here on these chairs. We're coming to you live once again from the Bridget Mabandla Justice College. That's where day 3 of Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's testimony is set to take place. I have the, I suppose, unique privilege of being able to really get a sense of what it feels like to steer this high-stakes commission under the gaze of possibly millions of South Africans who will be watching with bated breath to see, of course, how the situation is likely to unfold today. As you can see, the cameras are already set. It seems we are going to start at around 10 o'clock. I think that's yet to be confirmed. But if the past 2 days are anything to go by, we know it will run on time. And once again, this is the hot seat, so to speak, when Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will once again detail the extent of which he feels the work of the SAPS has been frustrated over the years. We've heard him lay down the foundation, and yesterday it got to what felt like some kind of a climatic moment when names were finally being dropped. 2 MPs being implicated in frustrating the work of crime intelligence. Both of them have already been on the SABC News channel to push back strongly against the narrative, at the very least, that was created by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, and taking a step further to say if this commission were to call them, they too are willing to take a seat in this chair to, at the very least, give their version of events. Today, as you mentioned, we're expecting Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to continue fleshing out some of the dodgy characters which he says are connected, politically speaking, to the elite, and have in fact gone as far as, in some ways, contributing to the disbandment of the political killings task team, which really formed a good part, or I think the lion's share, of his testimony yesterday. The SABC News channel, as always, is watching the story from a number of vantage points. Today is no different. Just a stone throw away, our senior reporter, Kenny Mapanga, is also here. She's been keeping up with the testimony since it began and is with us once again today. And Kenny, if the first 2 days are anything to go by, today is likely to be explosive.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers once again. At 9:30 a.m. this morning, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will continue to connect the dots and to this alleged effort to frustrate the work of the PKTT in administering justice to South Africans. So, of course, yesterday what we saw on day 2 is him paint a grim picture of this deep, elaborate, coordinated plan to get into these various state institutions by the alleged crime syndicates. The picture we got is that there is this cushion that is created, or a comfortable environment that is created for these alleged criminals to operate quite comfortably within the criminal justice system and to continue their operations. And of course, he continues to paint this pattern in the Gauteng province in particular, where you see even JMPD officers being implicated, prosecutors being implicated in the way that they handle these cases. But to take this conversation forward, I am joined by criminologist Professor Rakubu to go into those very shocking details that he has painted. We've seen various instances that he gave to the commission yesterday, where he spoke about a JMPD officer working exclusively, allegedly, with Katiso Molefe. We know he's facing quite serious charges right now. He alleges that as a member of a drug cartel. He goes into great detail that this officer used his office and his resources to screen a vehicle that was stationed outside the home of Molefe in order to give him that information. We're seeing now that he's painting a picture where these networks are so deep in law enforcement that it's so comfortable for these alleged drug cartels to, I guess, evade justice and get assistance when they see trouble coming along the way. What picture does that paint for you as a criminologist and the future of safety and security in South Africa?
Good morning to the viewers, and thank you for having me. Yesterday, the testimony got to really paint a grim picture where South Africans, I guess, were left super worried because they got to understand how deep-rooted this syndicates and political infiltration. So the testimony took us to the pattern of alleged political interference, political relationship, and how politicians frustrate investigations. Remember, we always question why are we losing the battle against crime? But yesterday we got to understand that South Africa is not only offender-centered, but the processes highly compromises safety of victims because of the political interference, political powers, and so forth. So the connection is much deeper than we expected.
He also throws in prosecutors into these allegations as well, stating that there are many cases where people are receiving bail where it's inappropriate to do so. I think he also gave a mention of someone receiving bail while they were out on bail, clearly showing quite evidently that there are a number of cracks in the criminal justice system that these alleged syndicates can take advantage of in order to continue with their operations.
Indeed, yesterday we got to learn of the issues around a granting of bail inappropriately and the abuse of power in that regard. So the serious cracks within the NPA have been highlighted, deeply highlighted yesterday, which left many people frustrated because one would always wonder whether when a bail is granted, has there been an assessment which would put community safety first and not the liberty of the accused person. So thorough analysis has not been done. It's not that it has not been done, it was ignored. It's not that there are no records to show that one is out on bail, because we understand that the minute you commit crime while on bail, that bail has to be invoked and a warrant of arrest should be issued. But in this case, it's the prosecutor, it's the police, it's the magistrate, so a whole lot of justice cluster being implicated. Should these allegations be true, an urgent system reform will be required.
We also see the last point of the crime intelligence being brought in there, where the two members of parliament were implicated in undermining that. But thank you so much for your time, Prof Rakubu. We have run out of time this morning. We'll continue to update you from the Madlanga Commission as we're set to head into day 3 of these proceedings at 9:30 a.m. this morning, where we expect that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi will spill more information about this alleged interference in the work of the criminal justice system. Over to you in studio.
Kani, thanks very much to Kani and Ayanda, and we'll check in with them maybe later, but if not, we certainly will be getting an update from Ayanda at 9 o'clock as the agenda begins.